This is Steve here on Action 2 News. We're going to be interviewing Mr. John Hill about the Salem witch trials. So, Mr. Hill, you are the so-called expert on witchcraft?
Yeah, I'm a reverend. I've studied up on the witchcraft. Some may call me an intellectual. I thought I was an expert on the witchcraft coming into the town of Salem. But after everything that's happened, I don't know that you can call me an expert any longer. I really don't.
Why do you say that?
Well, coming into Salem, I was really looking to help the village, the town of Salem in itself, and trying to clear witchery from the whole town, as I thought it was very prevalent there from my understanding of what people were telling me. But as the days went on and I was condemning and signing death warrants, I met a man named John Proctor. And he's making me second guess everything I've ever done in Salem and everything I really believe.
So, do you think John Proctor is innocent?
He is set to be hanged right now. And, I tried to stop it. I tried to talk Judge Danforth down, and I said, "Sir, he's not guilty of witchcraft." And I tried to get John to confess, not because he's guilty, but because rather it will save his life. He has a child on the way. His wife Elizabeth is pregnant, and we're going to hang an innocent man. This is what the witchcraft trials have done to Salem. Okay? Men who are innocent are being hanged when they have children on the way. Things like this. Terrible things are happening in this town, and I'm trying to stop it. I do not think the devil is present in Salem. I do not think there is any sort of witchcraft. I think this has all been made up. At the beginning, I thought it was here, and I was trying to help it. I take as much responsibility as anyone. This is my fault. But right now, I'm trying to clear it out. I'm trying to save Don Proctor's life as I'm trying to save others. There is no devil here in Salem. That is what I believe.
Do you think you have lost all control?
Coming in, I was the one who decided if someone was guilty, not guilty, but if they had the devil with them. And now I'm trying to tell the judge, hey, he doesn't have the devil, and the judge doesn't listen to me. I don't think that my input matters anymore. I think it's all about what the court decides, and I think the court has already made its decision on Proctor. I really do.
So, do you take responsibility?
Do I take responsibility? Of course I take responsibility. This is my fault. If I would have come here and said, hey, the devil isn't present, if I would have seen what those girls are from the beginning, Abigail Williams, Mary Warren, and all those other girls, this is all a big lie, I could have prevented this whole thing. But you know what? I came in and I signed 72 death warrants. 72. So yes, I take a lot of responsibility for this. I really do.
Well, it's not all your fault, is it?
I would like to think not. Danforth doesn't. Now, starting it was all my fault because I could have prevented it. Actually, I could have prevented it. I don't know that it's all my fault, but I could have stopped it. Right now, it's beyond my control. I'm trying to stop it, but there is nothing I can do. It's in Danforth's hands. It's in Proctor's hands. If he would confess, he's too proud of a man to do that, and I understand that. He wants his name held up for his kids, and I understand that. I applaud him for doing that, but I think that he should save his life so he can be around to meet his child, to see his child be born. But I could have prevented this, but now it's in Danforth's hands. And the court decides what the court decides, and there's not much I can do about it anymore. I can speak up, but it's all I can do right about now.
I see. So when do you think these hangings will finally stop?
Well, I hope, since Proctor is an honorable man, that once everyone realizes that he doesn't confess, and hopefully sooner or later the whole village will realize what I've realized. Giles Corey realized what happened, and he did not confess, and he stood up for what he believed in. There are many other people that are going to follow, and I believe, hopefully, after John's good example, this will stop, and John's life will be lost, not for nothing, but for something.
So what do you think you'll do now?
I'm just going to try to keep speaking up, stick around. I want to see this thing through. I want to be here until it stops. I want to do my best and everything I can. Since I had the opportunity to stop and I did it, I want to try to stop it now and do everything in my power to save some lives because I'm a minister of the Lord. But for right now, I'm going to hang around, try to stop this, and then after that, who knows? I'll go try to keep other villages under control that may have gone to mass hysteria like we have here in Salem. Maybe this will be my life's work, trying to save villages who have the same problems. I don't know, but for right now, I'm going to try to save lives here in Salem because I'm a minister of the Lord.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for coming here and speaking with us, John. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. This is Keith Glen with Action 13 News. I'm here to interview the good fellow John Prochner for his participation in the Salem witch trials. He's condemned to be hanged, so he graciously volunteered to answer a few questions for us. How are you doing today, Mr. Proctor?
I'm very good.
How was your relationship with your wife, Elizabeth?
Well, it's very good now, but before it wasn't as good because of my affair with Abigail Williams, because she was very critical of me and she was very judgmental of me because of that, even though I only meant to please her. Right after I did that, I was totally fine for 7 months. I was faithful to her. But now, since before I didn't sign the paper, we had a little makeup session, and I'm alright now. We made up and hugged, and it's all good.
That's good. That she's forgiven you. But I have to ask you, John, why did you not confess to witchcraft? It could have saved your life.
Well, I didn't want my name to be hung on the church door for the rest of my life. I mean, I already have 2 sons right now, and I will have another son coming on the way, and I want them to have a good example to live by. And if they can't live their life knowing that their dad committed witchcraft, and I just want them to have a good example. And I wanted to die with my goodness, and I wouldn't have that if I confessed to a lie.
Yeah, I can understand that, John. Tough situation. What is your opinion on the whole idea of the Salem witch trials?
Well, I think it's all stupid. I don't even believe in witchery. I think that Abigail and all the other girls that were accused of witchcraft are lying. I think Abigail just wants to be with me, and she wants to have Elizabeth dead, and that's the whole reason why she started conjuring spirits in the first place. I think I don't really believe in witchery, and I think that should just stop.
Wow, that's an eye-opening take. Was it a hard decision though not to sign the confession? I mean,
Well,
I know you already answered about your name and stuff, but it had to be terribly difficult.
it was very hard. It was probably by far the toughest decision of my life. But I didn't want to die without having any goodness in me, and I just, even though I'm gonna be hanged, my life is over. I want to have some goodness.
But John, you're expecting a child soon as well. So that had to make that decision just a tad bit tougher. How do you feel about a child not growing up with his father?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot tougher for him, especially with Elizabeth, with 3 sons of her own, with no father. I think they're going to have a pretty hard life, but I think that their life would be better, though, because they know they have an example to live by, and they wouldn't really have an example if they knew their father was a committer of witchcraft. But I think Elizabeth will do fine with them.
So you already said that your wife Elizabeth forgave you. So you did admit the affair with Abigail to try to stop the whole trials in Salem. Is that correct?
I did, yes.
So you try to say that Abigail was making them up, and that's what you believe.
Yes.
But the court did not listen to you. So when you admitted that, or even before when you admitted that, did it have a big negative impact? And I mean, as far as from what I've told, Elizabeth is a very upright woman, and she's always honest. So how did she take that?
How did Elizabeth take it? You're talking about?
Yes. How did Elizabeth take the news that that you had an affair with Abigail?
Well, she was not very happy. She kind of she was very I lost all of her trust. She was very critical of me then, and it really hurt our relationship. And our relationship. We had a lot of fights, and a lot of down times. But thankfully, I was able to make up with her just a couple moments ago.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So let's say you did confess to the witchcraft, and you're no longer going to be hanged. How does your life progress, and how do the rest of these Salem witch trials continue? Do you know what I mean by that question?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I would live my life in in a lot of guilt. I don't think that I would have really any respect around the community because I had confessed to that. I think a lot of people would look down on me, and my kids and my wife definitely would not have a role model to live by. But I think from me or not confessing, it does set an example for others around the village to not confess, and I think it's going to really help to stop these Salem witch trials.
How do you think, when this is all over, and it's going to come to an end sometime, how do you think it will leave Salem? How do you, I'm like, how, not how it will leave, like, as go, but I mean how Salem will be after it.
I think Salem it'll be scarred, but I think they'll have an example of what not to do. I think that'll make people use their reason more and think that, I hope that let's not do that because it might cause something like the Salem witch trials to happen again. But I think they'll just have an example of something that they shouldn't do anymore.
One final question for you, John. Do you think this is all Abigail's fault? I mean, you think she's lying, and you seem to know she's lying. So if she is lying, do you think this is all her fault? All these witch trials and all these people that have died for presumably being innocent?
I don't think it is 100% her fault, but I'd say a lot of it is her fault because she was the one in the very beginning who was trying to conjure spirits on my beautiful life, and because she just wanted to be with me, and if she wanted to try to conjure those spirits or anything, and nobody else would have been faking, doing witchcraft, and yeah, if she would have done that, then I don't think any of this would have happened.
Well, John, we appreciate your time, and I applaud the way you go about your business. I wish you the best from here. Thanks a lot.
I thank you very much.